New right to charge laws in the United States could be revolutionary for electric car owners. I mean, we often forget I don't live in an apartment. I have done in the past, but I don't currently. So it's easy for me to forget. It can be much more of a challenge for apartment owners to own an electric car. I mean, there's a lot of people I know in California, for example, who charge only at Tesla superchargers because they can't charge at home. But that could be about to change. Washington, D.C. has just passed a new bill which enables what is called, or enacts a law that's called right to charge. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Great to have you with us. Would love to have you with us at the Sydney EV show, which is on from the 8th to the 10th of November. You can get a discount on tickets if you click the link, which will be in the description below. Washington, D.C. is going to change rules with this new right to charge law. It essentially gives renters the right to charge, but not just renters, also apartment owners. Now, keep in mind, in many places around the world, you can be blocked from actually charging your EV at home if you're a renter or if you live in an apartment building. Now, DC apparently going to set the template so that every city may follow this as well in the United States. It'll enable much easier charging and easier ownership for millions and millions of people. Now, one of the most common barriers we hear about is when it comes to electric vehicle adoption is, what am I supposed to do if I live in an apartment? That's a pretty genuine question for some people. For others, it's not. For some people, it is. So far, solution to that problem, well, the solution is you got to try to lobby for a solution within your own strata, within your own apartment block, hope that something changes, and often nothing does. Washington, D.C., though, are about to actually change this by taking a proactive step. Apparently, they're going to give access to renters and people who live in multi-family units, well, the ability to charge their electric cars. This week, the district's legislative body, the Council of the District of Columbia, unanimously passed a bill that would empower many residents with the right to charge their EVs. If it's signed into law, which it looks like it will be by DC Mayor Muriel Bowser, this new law will provide a combination of government funding and new regulations to guarantee EV plug access at renovated buildings, apartment blocks, and even gas stations as well. According to the bill text and a news release from the Office of the Author, DC Council Member Charles Allen, the provisions of the new law are going to be pretty vast and wide-ranging. There's quite a lot to go through here, but I'll try to summarize it. As it stands, the law will require all new or substantially improved commercial and multi-unit buildings to include setups for EV chargers in parking garages or lots. If they have them and provide dedicated EV parking spaces there, they'll also offer financial assistance to people who want to install an EV charger at their home. So it's not just incentivization for buying an EV, it's also incentives to install a home charger as well. The bill will require newly built or renovated single-family homes with driveway parking spots or garages to have at least a standard plug for level 1 charging, grant condo unit owners or owner associations the right to install EV charging ports, and require landlords to comply with a renter's request to install chargers, provided they meet various safety and insurance rules. Now, don't get me wrong here, guys. I'm not a fan. If this bill was saying, as a landlord, you have to install a charger out of your own pocket, that would be a bit crazy. For new buildings, I understand that. Yeah, okay, that's cool. But not for existing buildings. That's just ridiculous. That's kind of like living in China or someplace where they're like, this is the rule, you must follow it or else. I don't think that's what they're saying here. From what I can tell, they're saying the renter, they should have the right to be able to pay for one themselves to install it. And I think that sounds pretty reasonable. They're also saying that a lot of these apartment buildings and apartment blocks, they are being blocked by the strata owners, the people who are in charge of the unit, the apartment block, from actually installing chargers. This is very, very common here in many different cities around the world. So Washington DC is saying we have to remove that so that these people can't be blocked from installing a charger in their apartment building. They're not saying it should be paid for by someone else. I mean, they're obviously going to incentivize it, but the individuals themselves should be able to, without any red tape, just instantly install EV chargers. Basically, this is just removing barriers, which is, politicians usually add barriers. This is actually removing them. Landlords would get funding to get the job done too. So basically, if landlords do install a charger for tenants, they'll get the funding to do it. The bill establishes an electric vehicle charging incentive program to create vouchers for property owners to supplement or fully cover the cost of plug and installation, as a local TV station first noted, called WUSA. Typically, home level 2 EV chargers can be, cost about a couple of $1,000s to buy and install. In total, that's the cost. However, most notably, to this bill, there's another part that's quite interesting, and that is that any new or substantially renovated gas station in the district projected to sell more than 1 million gallons of gasoline per year now has to add one 150 kilowatt minimum DC fast charging station with 2 plugs from October 2025 onward. This sounds like government bureaucracy, doesn't it? But it's not. I actually think it's the government trying to save these gas stations from themselves. A lot of these gas station owners, they're like, it's like being addicted to a drug, right? And, money's the drug, but the truth is gasoline. We're not going to burn it forever. People are going to move to EVs only at some point in time within the next decade. But a lot of these gas station owners, they don't want to invest the money to put in EV plugs, which will help their business survive. So I think this is actually maybe a good regulation because it'll save some of these businesses from themselves. Some people hesitate about going electric because of range anxiety or the fear that they don't know when or where they will charge the car, says the bill. But we need people to go electric and fast. The bill sends a clear signal that coming soon, there are going to be a lot of chargers available in places where people live, work, and shop. It's not yet clear whether Bowser will sign, whether the bill will be actually signed, but it looks like it will happen. And it's been in the works actually since late 2022. Now, this legislation is actually similar to right to charge laws in California, New York, and other states. So actually, this sort of legislation has been put in place in other states as well. Despite many headlines to the contrary, EV growth has actually been pretty strong in the US this year and last year as well. But EV charger installations are not really keeping pace with that growth in some areas. Faster DC level 3 charging in particular is an expensive process. Getting it all done takes a lot of money. Obviously, that's one of the reasons Tesla has tried to simplify the process, make it modular, and therefore they can save a lot of money with installations, but it still does cost a lot of money. Most EV owners, though, are single-family homeowners who can charge at home, but few solutions have arisen for apartment dwellers and people who live in city residential areas where there are high-density apartment blocks. The District of Columbia only covers 68 square miles and has a population of under 700,000. But EVs are growing fast there. In fact, EVs are growing fast all over the United States. And this is a kind of new incentives. I think let's call it an incentive because primarily this is about incentives, incentivizing people to install chargers and providing them the financial means and the legislatory means to actually install them that we should see everywhere. This is a really good decision. There's a lot of things in the United States that are doing better than Australia. I can tell you that now for sure. EV incentives, much, much better than Australia. Incentivizing home charging, much better than Australia. So, credit and kudos to some of these US states, which I think are leading some of the West in some ways, which is kind of crazy, but it's true. Thanks for watching.